Let's try this again. All right. Anyways, we'll see. We'll see if that keeps going over there. Anyways, so as I think about fitness and interested in CrossFit, I want to get back into martial arts. Even aside from fitness, I want to get back into martial arts. So I've been researching that. And the more I thought about it, because first of all, if y'all haven't researched CrossFit, that shit is fucking expensive. You know, it's like $150 a month for 3 classes a week. Maybe break it down. I mean, 3 classes a week, 4 weeks. Maybe it's not that much per class. But the point I'm trying to make is I realize that at the end of the day, all of this, any change I wanted, as much as, yes, it could be helpful, me going out there, getting a personal trainer, right? Joining a CrossFit gym, joining a dojo. These all things could be helpful. But at the end of the day, I realized, I have it all within me. Any alchemy that I want, I have within me. And the more I thought about this, the more I'm like, because it's not even like putting aside the physical things, right? If I was to say, it's like, well, I want to be in better shape, in theory, you don't even need any physical objects to get in shape. You can do body weight exercises, you can walk, you can run outside, right? You can do pull-ups. I guess pull-ups, you may need something. But, there's lots of places, jungle gyms, parks, where you can just go do pull-ups on a bar or just anywhere. Where the sturdy bar, okay, you can do pull-ups. The bar sturdy, there's your pull-up bar. So, as I thought about that, I'm always thinking about alchemy. I'm always thinking about alchemy in my own life. The more I'm like, yeah, it's really a huge excuse to, when we feel that we can't do the alchemy, or that alchemy is going to be difficult, and it may be difficult. It may be intricate. That's the word I use now. I don't necessarily like difficult anymore. Difficult. What's difficult? Intricate. Because it may be very intricate how you need to unpack the things you need to unpack for your alchemy. It may be very intricate how you need to process your trauma. It may not just unravel just very seamlessly. It may be an intricate, circuitous unraveling of what you got going on. So, what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this. I'm going to move that so that I'm looking in the same direction. Because then it's like if I'm looking at the one up there for Instagram, then it's like, why is he looking off to the side over there? What is happening over there? But if I have them on the same plane, it can at least seem like I'm looking at both cameras at the same time. So, anyways, let's get back to alchemy. So, the more I thought about it, the more I processed it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's just excuses that I'd be like, I can't do my alchemy. You know what I'm saying? I need a 4-year degree to do my life alchemy. I don't have an associate's. Bullshit. It's all in you. Anything you need to do your alchemy is all in you. Because the experiences, which is the lead in alchemy, right, are negative traumatic experiences. You got all that already. And that's that's the fertilizer. That's the most important part. And the irony of it, that's the most important part, is all the shitty experiences that you've experienced. All the trauma, all the disappointments, all the loathing, all the low self-esteem, all that shit, that is pre-gold. That is pre-gold. It's gold before it actually turns into gold. Whatever the state of that is. Let's just call it lead, because that's what alchemy is. Lead to gold. So, you need to realize that you have what it takes. And this isn't just like a rocky a rocky pep talk speech. You got it in you, kid. But no, you literally do. And in terms of the alchemy, right? The turning around, the changing of what you are, and transforming it into whatever you need to transform to, right? Whatever you need to become or unfurl and unfold as, that exists within you. That right now, all that shit, especially the shit where you don't like something about yourself or you have some sort of strong feeling about something in your life, that is the fucking shit. That's the shit that you need to turn into manure. Okay? You can't just keep stepping in it. and keep causing yourself to step in it and being like, ah, shit, I stepped in my own shit again. Oh man, I'm a piece of shit. Or whatever recurring dialogues you have with yourself. You gotta turn that shit around. You gotta turn that shit into some gold. You gotta turn that shit into some fertilizer, because it's very powerful. That's the thing. That's the thing about our experiences that may be traumatic, that may be less than stellar, right? These experiences are very powerful because they draw on a lot of energy. They draw on a lot of energy in your body, and this energy, just kind of hangs out in our lower chakras and doesn't really do much for us except for just making us feel like shit. But when we fucking work with it, just like, again, if we were working with manure to turn that into fertilizer, we are taking it from one state and we're moving it to another. And that is the alchemy. That is, I would say, it's a close photo finish between knowledge of self and alchemy. And I think the more you have knowledge of self, I know the more you have knowledge of self, the more you'll understand your own alchemy. You'll understand what you need to do with the experiences you've had. Some people, it's like, well, I got to take these and turn them into a musical. Well, I got to take these and put these in a journal. Well, I got to take these and just let them go. Well, I got to take these and put them on a tuna sandwich. But until you further your own knowledge of self, you won't really understand why maybe you've even had the experiences you've had, why they've even come up on your radar into your reality. You'll be like, why did this happen to me? Why is this always happening to me? Right? Ask yourself those kind of questions. So, instead of doing that, we need to find ways, and that's you and you. Yeah, Instagram, YouTuber, Facebooker. Yes. Oh, I see someone left. Okay, yeah. It's getting too high in the kitchen. They couldn't handle that direct talking about you. And this applies to me too. I was just talking about my own alchemy. But you out there watching this video on your feed, being like, what's this nigga talking about? Or maybe you're like, I see what he's talking about. But what's this nigga talking about? Or whatever, anywhere in between. The point is, all that shit that you wake up in the middle of the night or keeps you up, or, you wake up early in the morning and you're thinking about or feeling about or anything. All that stuff, that's there. That's it. There's nowhere else you need to go. There's nowhere it's like, oh, no, it's not. No. We need to go over here, and that's where the alchemy is. Oh, hey, what's up, alchemy? Oh, you're just over here? Oh, great, wonderful. No. The alchemy is as close as you could possibly recognize it as it being. And I don't even know if that sentence made sense. But it is on your nightstand. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. It's in your wheel well of your car. Maybe literally, maybe not literally. But the point is, it's not like the transformation that we all want. So we all want to be the transformation story. Who doesn't love a good transformation story? I used to be, and I recognize this too. That's like it's honestly a huge reason why I want to get back into better shape, is to have a wonderful transformation story. It's like, 2 years ago I was this, and now, I did? Oh yeah, I was easy. Oh, I just had to blah, 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 blah. Right? Everybody loves a good transformation story. But you can't have a good transformation story if you don't have an alchemy backstory, I guess you could say, because that's the transformation. It's the changing of your mindset. It's the releasing of the shit you got on your heart. It's all that sort of shit. To get the actual transformation, you gotta change your mind. You gotta release something. You can't just be holding on to that crusty old spatula. It's like, oh, this is my favorite spatula for college, and I flipped so many burgers for all the hotties in college, and blah, 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 blah. You can't hold on to that spatula. That spatula's got to go. Spatula's in the way of your greatness. And if you want the transformation, you got to do the alchemy. And it's funny, I've realized that I tried to like skirt around the alchemy. Like, oh, well, maybe if I kind of go over here, maybe I'll get the alchemy, or go over here this way. But it's like, nope. It's right in front of you. The alchemy is right in front of you. Whatever, like, literally I look at it like this. Everything in my surrounding, like in my home environment, is part of my alchemy. And it doesn't mean I need to do everything with it. Like if I have a kazoo, it doesn't mean I need to play a fucking kazoo. But maybe that I need to teach myself how to let go of things. And I've held on to that kazoo long fucking enough. And I know someone wants a kazoo, and I could give them that kazoo. But it requires me letting go of my attachment to the kazoo. Right? And maybe attachment to material things is a huge thing in my existence. And I need to alchemize that and take that to a higher level. You know, so yeah, just look around you, right? I mean, you don't have to look around you. Just what do you think about all the time? What do you deeply feel about all the time, right? You know, and it's like, you know, aside from like, oh, I love my family, you know, we get that, right? But I'm talking about the dark shit. I'm talking about your shadow shit. The shit that keeps you up at night, the shit that has you worried, that has you anxious, that has you fearful. What is that about? And don't be like, oh, well, the government's and this, and they're gonna, no, you, why are you afraid? Where's that coming from in you? Because if it wasn't that, it'd be some other shit. So don't act like it's like always the external thing, because it's not. That's just a reaction to your inner state. Because you know, I have people who do the work who like are just unbothered by society because they understand it just goes in cycles, and it's just a whole cyclical thing that happens up and down, back and forth, back and forth. That's a dualism. And why we need to take our consciousness out of that space, out of the dualism. Stop being so dual. And this requires alchemy. This requires transformation. And just not settling for, well, I'm always going to be like this. Well, there's nothing I can do. Well, if I only had this, if I only could get that. Those are fucking excuses. Like Ann was, shout out to Ango, because she was listening to this, his brother. There's a man, Lewis Howe, who has a show, podcast. I forget the name of it. Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. But anyways, there was his brother on there. He had gone to prison. Like he'd killed someone. I don't know, circumstance. But he had murdered somebody. Right? And he was talking about his journey from that place to being out and being a motivational speaker, et cetera, et cetera. And so one really fascinating thing that he said was, or that he talked about, was that when he was in there, like his son had sent him a letter, whereas like his son was like, yeah, mom told me it was like what you did, essentially. And it really like fucked with him. And it really, he said like his toughness facade like melted away, right? And he was like, you know, I really need to do something to prove to myself that I've changed, right? And so he's like, okay, I'm going to write a book in 30 days, right? But like, essentially he had like got into a fight with prison guards, and so he was in solitary confinement. And so as part of it, he didn't actually have like an actual pen. He just like had like a little nub. And so when he said like, oh, you know, I would like to write a book in 30 days. He's like, yeah, but I only have like this little nub, whatever. He's like, no, that's an excuse, right? And like homie like innovated himself. He took a piece of paper and like he wrapped it around the little nub and made a pen for himself. And like that is such a beautiful example of alchemy, right? Here's what you've been dealt. Here's where you want to transform. You got to figure it out. You got to be clever sometimes. Lots of times you have to be clever. It's not going to be, because oftentimes we have pens around and we don't fucking write the book in 30 days or ever. And then we have plenty of pens, you know, but sometimes when we're kind of in a situation where it's like we're facing our deepest emotions, like this dude was in his circumstance in solitary confinement in prison, not even know if he's ever going to see the free world again, sort of shit. He's like, well, I think I could figure something out. So I think I could figure something out with this writing utensil situation. And he did. And he went on to like write 3 books. I think he did like, he wrote one in 30 days and another one in 30 days, like just back to back. Because he was serious about the transformation. And if you're serious about the transformation, you'll be serious about the alchemy. You'll be serious about the work that needs to go into the alchemy. And serious, not in a serious, like we need to have a stern face, because it needs to be met with joy, because it's like you're transforming. This is joyous. You're aware that you want to transform, and you're going about it, and you're letting go, and you're processing, you're digesting, and you're expanding, and you're diving deep into why maybe you haven't transformed, why times in the past you've stayed stuck. You know, listen, there's another Lojong saying, oh, by the way, Lojong real quick. 27, work with the greatest defilements first. And 49, which is always meditate on what provokes resentment. Super important and related to this discussion. You know, you don't work with the things that kind of make you upset or kind of provoke resentment. Yo, what fucking gets you 1,000%? What's going on there? And explore that. What gets you on a level 10 anger? And again, the external thing, just put that aside. Yeah, there's lots of times, you know, traffic, driving, we all get annoyed by those sorts of things. But what's that really about? Wanting to control the situation? Wanting people to abide by your rules about how to drive? Because think about it like this. There's probably plenty of times when any of us drive and we think we're a great driver, where people are like, what the fuck is that person doing? And it may be legitimate, it may not be legitimate. So it's all perspective, and we can have a very flawed perspective. So just always check yourself. That's why I like there's an Eckhart Tolle, even though I don't like too much fuck with Eckhart Tolle. He said something very funny once that I still think about, where he was driving somewhere and, you know, like someone like didn't like he was driving and drove around, and he's like, said like, oh, asshole driver or whatever. And he's just like, huh, maybe I am. You know, and it's like that sort of thing where it's like, listen, there's been plenty of times where it's like I could recognize I was not being a great driver. And then when someone speeds around me, I'm like, okay, I get that. There's other times where I'm like, I don't know what was up with that person, but there's plenty of times where I'm like, I could see that. I could see that. I could see how that could have been annoying from their vantage point. You know, this comes with awareness. I'm aware that it's like, oh, that maybe, even though I think it's fine to swerve in and out of lanes obsessively, maybe that bus full of children and nuns, maybe they're not into that sort of behavior and they kind of feel threatened. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Anyways, alchemy, the final frontier. Let's take a little water break, everybody. Let's stay hydrated, okay, folks? Just drink your little baby waters. Baby water. So, you gotta fucking do your alchemy homework, because you'll just stay the same. Well, I mean, actually, that's not true. I don't think you'll necessarily stay the same, but the alchemy you experience will be way more, that I will say will be difficult and will be suffering. Because it's like, you know, you're getting dragged along by the alchemy, you know? I'm a type of person that's like, yo, you either ride the wave or the wave just fucking crashes on your fucking head mercilessly because you didn't choose to ride it. There was an opportunity to get on your board and ride the wave, even as, you know, like, oh, I don't know, I may fall down, but it's like, hey, at least you're putting an effort to ride the wave of this alchemy, of your transformation. And you're not just like, well, I'm just going to float here. You know what I'm saying? This is nice. I'm just going to float here. Oh, alchemy. Oh, transformation. Oh, we'll get to that later. Then the wave breaks and you're fucked. Not that you're fucked, because, you know, we're all immortal, but you're fucked in terms of experiencing more of a suffering-esque transformation in alchemy. So, you know, just get some alchemy going, people. It's not glamorous, but it's important, at least to me. Do whatever the fuck you want, but man, Maybe we might do pickup line to the ladies. Like, hey, what's up, lady? What's up, young woman? What's up, goddess? Are you doing your alchemy? Because if the answer is no, then you can talk to the hands. What do y'all think about that pickup line? I'll workshop it. I'll edit. But the alchemy of one's own experiences is it? What other work will we need to do? Or are we going to just have all these shitty, questionable, disappointing, maddening, frustrating experiences, and it's like, that's it? That's all? It's like, oh, okay, anyways. No. It seems kind of like a waste, frankly. Because, again, there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of power there. And if you can reestablish, reconnect, reclaim that energy and use it in a positive way, where it's like, next time you're angry, why can't you just reclaim that energy and be like, yo, this anger energy is me bringing more peace into my life, right? That's how I'm choosing to use it. But we often don't think like that. And this is more of having an occult mindset, to think of things and always thinking that they're paired with the opposites. If you're extremely angry, it's paired with its opposite. It's entangled with its opposite. How could it not be? Think it's just out here yinging without a yang or yanging without a yin? No, it has an opposite somewhere. And establishing that this opposite can help align you in the ways you choose. So yeah, that's alchemy. And just real quick, I gotta go make phone calls and eat something and fight gorillas. Okay, so the Instagram people, you can't see this, but there's a little thing. Hold on, I'll show y'all. Okay, so see that? Okay, so I saw this on the interwebs, and I've been thinking about it. Just that the two extremes of those states, right? The discipline and the surrender, right? So I've been thinking about those two just extremes and flow in the middle. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, like I got a huge issue with myself in terms of what I was saying about transformation, about alchemy, right? It's like our ego oftentimes doesn't want to surrender. It wants to fight. It wants the back and forth. It wants the tug of war, right? So it doesn't want to surrender, right? We could say surrender in terms of like surrendering to the divine, surrendering to the goddess, surrendering to the unknown, right? Surrendering can take many forms. Surrendering to your own just beauty and love and kindness, right? Not being like, no, not me. No, surrender that. Put your arms up like you're a prisoner. You're surrendering and walk towards that shit. Bathe in that shit. So I was saying about that extreme, and then discipline, right? Discipline is like, okay, we need to do this by this, and blah, 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 and then 2 sets, and then 2 more sets, take a 30-second break, right? And there's nothing wrong with either states, surrender or discipline, right? Just like there's nothing wrong with yin and yang. But that, and shout out to Vesica Pisces, we appreciate you. But the middle, the flow, the more I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, so it's like being a state of surrendered discipline, right? And what I describe surrendered discipline as is, to go back to what I was saying, like everything in my home environment is related to my alchemy. And sometimes I don't want to surrender to that alchemy, right? I'll make fucking every excuse not to surrender, not to just sit down and start doing the thing, right? I'll make and not even like I make excuses. I just will be like, oh, yeah. I'll just get into like a trance, like I was saying about transformations. I'll get into an internet trance or a Reddit trance or any sort of other trance rather than doing the alchemy work, right? And so I've just been thinking about like you have to just surrender to what you are. You have to surrender to your highest self, And, oftentimes that's the battle with the ego. is that it's like, no, don't surrender. What, you're gonna put your hands up and go paint? Huh? No, don't do that. But this is the alchemy. It's like you have to be able to surrender, but also you have to be able to do it consistently, right? That's a discipline. It's the consistent surrendering. It's the consistency of it that really just brings about the transformation. You know, like anything I think now, like going back to what I was saying earlier about transformation and alchemy in terms of, I don't look at things as difficult per se, right? There's nothing that I want to do in my life in terms of goals or whatever you want to fucking say that I really can view as difficult now. I will say there's certain things that may be intricate where it's like, oh, okay, well, to do this, maybe I have to learn these sets of skills, right? And that's intricate. But to learn each of those skills, is it difficult? No. But it's intricate because it's like driving a car. Driving a car in terms of, I wouldn't say it's a difficult thing to learn, but it's intricate because it's a whole bunch of skills you have to put together, right? It's not just holding the steering wheel. It's not just the gas and the brake. It's not just looking at the mirrors. It's all that combined together. Your awareness, just speed, situational awareness, all the fucking things. And so much shit all together that you should combine, right? And that's how I view just anything I want to do. It's probably a combination of skills I have to put together that maybe I'm viewing as difficult, but actually is just probably more intricate than anything else. Like I'm not trying to be a fucking space engineer. That I would say to me would be difficult, but also you could say that's intricate too. But, I have other goals, but I feel they're just intricate, right? They're not difficult. So the point being is in this surrendered, disciplined states, you give in to what you feel you need to do. Because it's like you're not going to be on the extreme with the discipline where it's like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I do this? This doesn't make any sense for my discipline. But you're not fully in the surrendered state where you're like, woo, whatever goes, man. Woo, let's put asparagus up our nose. But maybe that's what you need to do. That's the funny thing about this whole shit. I can't tell you not to put asparagus up your nose. If you're really in tune with your spirit, if you're really aligned with what you are and who you are from a divine level, asparagus up your nose away, my nigga. Do it. If you feel, just like, man, it's whatever you want to do. Excuse me. 4 foot too fresh. Key, listen. If you wanted to put asparagus up your nose and if that was your way of connecting with divinity, who am I to say that, no, that's wrong? Like I saw in a witchcraft a subreddit earlier where someone was talking about, is it okay? She's like, I'm a Latina and also Native American. Is it okay if I like connect with the deity Bastet, I believe is who she referenced. And my response was like, fuck yeah, whatever you want to do. Like, just like life is whatever you want to paint on the canvas or not paint or clay or, create a beaded necklace. Whatever you want to create is whatever you want to create. I feel like spiritually, magically, no one can tell you shit. If someone does try to tell you shit, they're a hater. They're a spiritual occult hater, and their own fears are selling your work. Don't listen to that shit. That's like the shit that drives me insane when it's like, I want to do this, but then someone said, don't do this. I'm like, what? Like, there's a book, there's a chaos magic book, Prime Chaos by Phil Hines, or Condensed Chaos, one of those, but shout out to Phil Hines. And someone posted about it, someone was like, don't read this book, or like, don't read this second half of this book. And first of all, this book is not that wild in the grand scheme of occult or spiritual books that I want to read. It's like pretty, I don't want to say milquetoast, but it's nothing out there in terms of what you could find in other areas of occult reading. So anyways, this person was like, yeah, don't read this. It like fucked up my life. And, I said like, read whatever the fuck you want. Make your own determination. Read the book, Okay, you got like, just because there's a Yelp review, just because there's a Yelp review for a place that says like, oh, this, that, or the other thing, that person could be lying. That person could be making things up. That person could have mental illness and they want to lash out against that business, right? That's why it's like, if there's hundreds of negative reviews about a business, then it's like, okay, all right, maybe I should avoid this business. But I feel like there's more positive about this book than there's negative. So it's always just funny when people dissuade you, especially as you further go out of the mainstream, when people dissuade you like, oh, you're doing that? I don't know. I heard if you work with tarot, it causes athlete's foot. Oh, what? Oh, you're doing this? I don't know. My cousin who did that once, they got hit by a train and it was all because of that, right? If you put these scare tactics out there and, this is part of the conditioning, right? It's like, oh, let's keep these people at a certain frequency. All this magic shit, let's just keep them scared, keep them away from it, keep them not wanting to touch it because they think they'll go insane if they even glance at a tarot card or even fucking attempt to channel a deity, right? So, long story short, to get back around to what I was originally saying about the flow state is surrendering yourself to your own alchemy, right? And it's like, that's what we don't want to do. We want the transformation, but we don't want the surrendering of the alchemy and the surrendered discipline of going back to the alchemy, right? Whatever that may be. It could be you going to the gym and working out, That's current, years ago, that was not part of my alchemy because that was like more, it's kind of like a habit. I didn't really need to, consistently always gear myself up to do it, right? But now I'm in a certain place where it's like, I see now. I see where my mindset is, and I see the kind of the gap between the transformation I desire and the alchemy that I'm putting in practice. And I can see how those two interact, and I can see how it only further pushes me away from my alchemy, right? Because I'm not surrendering. I'm not surrendering consistently to this alchemy, right? There's other areas where I feel like I'm surrendering better and better every day with my alchemy, like in terms of my relationships. That's a huge one with me because I'm someone who could just be like, all right, bitches, like, I don't know, I'll talk to you whenever, you know what I'm saying? That's both a gift and a curse with me because it's like I could go off and just focus on what I need to focus, right, and be my own world, but then how does that interplay with my relations with other people? I can leave people feeling, I don't care about them, and it's not that anybody's ever said that, but I'm just trying to be a better evaluator of my behavior, and I do want to be supportive and be there for people, and I want to demonstrate that. So, I go about changing those behaviors and understanding like what beliefs lead me to do that sort of thing. But yeah, again, surrendering to one's own alchemy, not being like, oh yeah, I'll surrender to my own alchemy tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, I'll surrender to my alchemy tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be perfect. I have tomorrow off from work, surrender to my alchemy, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't work like that. It's like you got to surrender every moment of every day. But you surrender with joy, you surrender with love. Because again, it's like, you're surrendering to your own alchemy because you desire transformation. Because you're like, you know what? How I am right now, how I've been right now, at once it worked, but now we need to level up. We need to expand and dive deeper in terms of an inner expansion, in terms of what we got going on in our own inner alchemy. So if you're playing the alchemy smoking game, that was 3,000 hits for every time I said the word alchemy. So go ahead, hit the blunts, joints, vape pen, whatever you got going on, 3,000 times because I said alchemy that much during this live. So that's essentially it. I don't want to drone on and on any more than I need to. Surrender to your alchemy. And again, looking at the picture, again, I'll show it to y'all folks on Instagram, right? Being in that flow state, right? And bringing the discipline, the surrender together. And it's just funny to think about those two together because it's like, how often do you think about discipline and surrender together. They don't seem like they go together. But that's the irony of this place. The things that don't seem like they go together fucking well. You know, there was probably a time when people were like, peanut butter and jelly, that shit doesn't go together. You're crazy. Who would even do that? And then it was a thing. And now it's like, it means something goes together really well. But just thinking about, there was a time when that was like, if you put peanut butter and jelly together, you were probably an outcast from society. They probably pitchforked you out of your home and drove you off into the woods as a social outcast. But then like a few other people try like, you know, Jerome, we should have run off in the woods. This is actually a good sandwich, right? And this is why the creative, the artists, the people who go beyond conventional mainstream are always, you know, often not appreciating their time or just kind of looked at as like, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. But it's funny when it comes full circle where it's like they go so far that they come back around that the mainstream's like, oh, okay. Like I always think about Prince where he's like, he was out there and then he went so out there like with his art that he came back around the mainstream. He's like, oh, okay, we'll fuck with you. Okay. You're gifted. Okay, all right. But if you're like kind of out there, then it's like you're a tweener and they're like, nah, they're just weird. Whatever. Dismiss, you know. But yeah, that's the place. That's the true reality when you're fucking off the reservation, as they say, or off the mainstream grid. I'll leave with this quote. This is the quote. Thank you. thank you. Great quote, right? Great quote. Now, here's the quote. If you find yourself on the side of the mainstream, it's often a good time to pause and reflect. That was from Mark Twain, something I think about often. Anyways, the alchemy, it's all in you. It's all in you. Like right now in me, all the alchemy is in me. And even me doing videos consistently, that's part of my alchemy. That's been brewing in the works for fucking 3 years, pretty much since I've been in Hartford. But I'd probably say mostly over the past 3 years, it's like really been like, okay, bro, let's go. Let's do these videos. You know, now it's like much easier. I have a good setup. I just get going real quickly and hit record, et cetera, if I know what I'm going to talk about. So the alchemy is all on you. Whoever sees this video, whoever watches this video, it's all on you right fucking now. No excuses. It's like in your mind, it's in your heart, it's in your reality, it's all in your house. Everything around you is there to alchemize. It's there to transform you. What else would we be here for? Let's just talk about that. What else would we be here other than transformation alchemy? To eat chicken sandwiches, people? Chicken sandwiches are delicious. That can't be the only alchemy we do. We gotta do black bean burger sandwich alchemy. And quesadilla alchemy, okay? We gotta do all the alchemy. We can't just do chicken sandwich alchemy, all right? God. In conclusion, the alchemy is all in you. Again, if you're playing along with the alchemy smoking game, woo boy, you may not be able to go to work tomorrow. You'll be so high from all these alchemy references. But the alchemy is in you. I know I sound like a record. BBQ alchemy. That's what she said. Whatever that means. I don't know why she would say that. Well, she was at a barbecue and she's like, yeah, it's the alchemy barbecue. I don't know why she would say that, folks. I don't know why she would say that. So, it's all within you. Whatever you got going on, right? And I'll just be very direct. The worst moments of your fucking life are there to fucking serve you and for you to transform into something amazing and beautiful. And I'll leave you with another quote. It's a quote from a longer poem. Dina Metzger. I can't believe I remember her name. Well, I can believe it. But when I have referenced this quote earlier, like in other things over the past few months, I never remember her name. But Dina Metzger. It's from a poem where it's essentially the last part of the poem is, give me everything ugly and mangled, and I will turn it beautiful again. And that's it. That is the alchemy. So whatever your ugliest, darkest, just most shameful, most disappointing, most saddening, most traumatic moments are and feelings are and experiences are, That's the fucking alchemy you need to work on. No more repression. No more pushing that shit aside. No more, oh, tomorrow I'll do my alchemy. Tomorrow I'll deal with those experiences. No, today, in this moment. Doesn't mean you have to do it all at once, but you need to start. You need to start somewhere. You need to get it going, because those are going to eat you alive and drain you and keep you in a certain vibrational state. The more you don't address them, the more you don't, metabolize them even. So keep that in mind. Do the alchemy. Meditation. That's where it starts. Just meditation, chakra work, body work. Just starting there is plenty, right? And I could see how one could not see the connection between that and alchemy, but it starts with your body. The body is both a prison and a powerful tool. And whatever you choose to do with your body will create the reality related to what you're doing. If you want to just fuck assholes all day, literally and figuratively, then, your body will adapt to that, but that's all it will be. If you want to meditate all day, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Oh, you want to do some Qigong, you want to do some tarot, right? You want to do some inner meditation on chakras. This is the alchemy, right? Because it all starts inside. So, all right, bid you adieu. Peace out. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Y'all are alchemists in the works, as we all are. So, just fucking alchemy. Alchemy, bitches. Alchemy. Alchemy.